Hi, and welcome to Yoga with Kylie. So, during these rather uncertain times, it can often throw us into kind of fear and panic and anxiety and worry about what might happen. And all of those are sympathetic nervous system activation. It is the thinking mind trying to maintain some sort of control and certainty over the situation. But in situations like these, we really have to drop into presence and drop into, the flow of each day, because we really don't know what the future holds. And the more we worry about it, the more we take from this moment. So this practice is really about anchoring ourselves in presence in our feeling, sensing body. So we'll be using the hands to touch the body. We're not allowed to really touch each other at the moment, so we need touch in some way because it's so important for growth, development, for releasing the feel-good neurotransmitters like oxytocin. So touching yourself as you practice is going to remap those parts of the body within the brain, as well as bring more sensory awareness to your body and to this present moment. So that's where we're going to go with this practice. You don't need any props, but if you've got some props, then by all means use them. I've tried to make this as user-friendly as possible, so that if you don't have even a yoga mat, hopefully you can still do this. All right, so we're going to get started with one hand on the front of the chest and one hand on the back of the chest, just as high up as you can reach. And I'm sitting, on my shins. If that's not comfortable for you, by all means take a pillow or something underneath the hips, or sit cross-legged. And just with the hands on the body, gently close the eyes or soften your gaze towards the floor. And take a moment just to check in with your internal landscape. So noticing what you feel within the body right now. And maybe the monkey mind is still quite active, thinking about what is happening out in the world. And just notice what the physical sensation of that is within the body. So if you are feeling perhaps anxious, what does that feel like in your body? Is it a sense of tightening or restriction? Maybe a sense of nausea? Seeing if you can allow yourself to be fully present with that sensation. And as you are fully present with that sensation, just start to notice your breath. And with your hand on the back of the rib cages, a little bit of feedback. Can you fill into the back ribs a little more? You start to feel the breath front to back, side to side. As you feel the breath moving into all sides of the rib cage, also just noticing what's happening to that sensation within the body. And if it's getting a little more intense, then just stay with full presence on the sensation while you watch the breath. Feeling the breath move into all sides of your rib cage. You might like to make the exhale slightly longer than the inhale. And see if you can allow the exhale to be just a letting go, and try not to control it too much. And still noticing that sensation if it's still there. And perhaps it's changed or dissipated. Perhaps noticing the feeling of your hands against your chest, the temperature of the hands, the pressure. And seeing if you can keep the breath moving into all sides of the rib cage, but just release your hands now. Perhaps you notice that energetic imprint of the hands where they were resting, maybe a sense of warmth there. Just notice if there's anywhere in the body that you're holding tension unnecessarily. With each exhale, can you release that? And then gently opening the eyes. So we'll start off just by warming up the wrists. So you're going to place one hand on the smoother side of your forearm. And that's just to remind the forearm to stay pointing up towards the ceiling. And squeeze into a fist and pull the fist towards your hand. And then open your fingers, spread them wide and pull the fingertips down towards the floor. Do that a couple of times. Squeezing into a fist, pulling in, and then opening the fingers wide, stretching them towards the floor. Squeeze in. And open the fingers wide, stretch them towards the floor. This time squeeze into a fist, and isolating to just this wrist joint, can you mobilize, so circle the wrist without your forearm moving. So your hand is there as a little bit of feedback for the body, and also just a reminder to keep the forearm pointing up, and then go the other way. And just notice if it's a little sticky through this movement. If the forearm really wants to get involved. Go to one more big circle and then release that. And just pause for a moment and close the eyes and notice the sensations through the arm that you've just done. So in this case it was my right arm. And notice the sensations through the left arm. And then open the eyes and take the right hand on top of the left forearm, and then same thing, squeeze into a fist, pull the fingers towards you, and then open the fingers wide and pull them down towards the floor. Squeeze into a fist, pull towards. You might even feel the muscles underneath your hand working, and pull towards the floor. Good. A couple more times. Just really sensing and feeling this movement. Noticing the muscles that have to activate to create this wrist flexion and wrist extension. Good, and then squeeze into a fist and draw circles with the wrist, keeping the forearm pointing up towards the sky. Another great thing about touching the body, particularly when we touch the opposite side of the body, is it helps to integrate both hemispheres of the brain. Good, and then other way. Nice big circles. Good, and then hold both arms out and see if you can keep the forearms pointing up without your hand on top this time. So circling the wrists and just noticing if they start to roll in. And then to further get the brain online, do one wrist one way, one wrist the other. There might be that moment of confusion where you're trying to sort out which way is one way and which way is the other. So just embrace that. That's a moment where you're actually coming back into the present moment. All those moments where we get a little bit confused about things, creating new neural pathways, and that brings us into more presence. Good, one more little circle and then shake it out. Turn your hands around, so your fingertips point towards your knees. If that's not comfortable, just go as far around as you can. We'll do a little crawling pattern. So you'll lift up the right knee, the left hand to crawl forward, and then other side. So just seeing how this feels in the body. The hands backwards, it feels a little unusual, which again just brings a little bit more presence to what we're doing. So crawling backwards, and then crawling back to the center of your mat. We'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, the chest moves forward, the sitting bones towards the sky. On the exhale, tuck the chin in, round and curl the spine, and gaze towards the navel. Now try to squeeze the hands and the knees towards each other. Inhale, draw your chest forward, lift the sitting bones, lift the gaze. And then exhale, round and curl, and pull the fingertips to the knees to the fingertips. One more like this. And then coming back to center with the spine. You can turn your hands around this time. We're going to go as slow as we can from the tailbone through to the crown of the head. Same thing, a cat-cow action, but we're trying to move each and every vertebrae one at a time. So starting from the tailbone, you'll curl the tailbone under, and then feel that start to go into your lumbar spine, the low back. And then one vertebrae at a time up into the thoracic spine. Spread wide. And then eventually into the neck, and the chin will be the last thing. And then from the chin, initiate the action out. So the chin will lift, go through the neck, into the upper back, thoracic spine, eventually into the lumbar spine. And the tailbone will be the last thing out. Again, tailbone curls under, into the low back, slowly up into the thoracic spine. Tuck the chin, and then from the chin, slowly through the neck, through the thoracic spine, the lumbar spine, and the tailbone. Good. Find your neutral spine again. And extend the right leg back behind you, the left arm forward. Push out through the right heel, and just check that the left hip is right above the left knee. Now as you exhale, bring your hand to touch your right knee under the body. Pause and then press them firmly against one another. Now notice if the low back has started to round, can you draw your sitting bones back and up? Bring back your lumbar curve. Inhale, extend and reach. Push out through the heel. Exhale, bring the hand to touch the knee and press them firmly against one another. One more. Inhale, extend. Exhale to touch and press, feeling that activation through your core, your tummy muscles. Inhale, extend. Place your left hand down, stack the right hip on top of the left and open the right arm to the sky. Squeeze into the left hip a little more. And then take the right hand, reach it down towards your left hand. You're going to stroke along the inside of the left arm, across the chest and up to the ceiling. You can time this with your breath. It feels good. You could inhale down and exhale open, or if it feels better to do the breath the other way around, just work out what feels good in your body. Slide along the arm. Notice the sensations as you slide along the arm. Good. Pause when you reach the top. Feeling all of that sensation through the arm, through the chest, through the hand. And then very slowly bringing yourself back into tabletop. And just pausing for a moment, close the eyes and notice any sensation through the left hip, maybe the right leg, even into the hands. And then extend your left leg back behind you and the right arm forward. Keep the right hip over the knee. Take a breath in, push out through the heel. And then exhale, touch the hand to the knee. Pause for a moment and press. Lift your sitting bones, bring back your lumbar curve. Inhale, extend. Exhale to touch and press, really feeling that connection. Inhale, extend. Exhale to touch. Good. Inhale, extend. This time, right hand comes to the floor. Open out. Left arm to the sky. Press out through the left heel. Feel almost like you're screwing your right hand into the floor. And then bring the left hand down to touch and slide it along the inside of the arm across the chest to reach up. Again, down and touch and slide along and open out. And then work out whether it feels better for you to exhale or inhale as you rotate down. Good. Pause here and just notice the sensation. Draw the ribs to the pelvis. And then exhale, release the hand and the knee to the floor. Turn the hands upside down, fingers face in towards each other. Squeeze into a fist and bend your elbows. Try and pull the fist towards your forearms and then start to straighten your arms a little. Do it again. Bend, squeeze, pull towards the forearms and straighten. Good. Turn the hands around, walk them forward. Tuck the toes and press into downward facing dog. Nice big inverted V shape out of the body. And really feel the connection down through your hands and down through your feet. Feeling the weight from the pinky finger across to your index finger, up through the arms to the center of the chest. Feel the big toe mounds pressing down and the heels pressing open. And then slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Feet about hip distance apart. Place the hands on your shin bones. And on the inhale, slide the hands up the legs to the hips. Circle them around behind and slide down the backs of the legs to the ankles. Again, inhale, slide up to the hips. And exhale down to the ankles. This time, cross your hands, so opposite hand on opposite shin bone. Slide all the way up. Circle the hands over your head. Touch the fingers together, so all 5 fingers. See if you can do it without looking. Notice if they're a little bit off center. And then bring the hands down. Stroke around behind you, down the low back and down the backs of your legs. Cross a different hand in front. It'll feel the weird way. Slide up the legs again as you inhale. Circle the arms over your head. Try to touch just the fingertips together without looking. And then bring the hands down the center, around behind you, and stroke down the backs of your legs. Again, inhale, cross, slide up, circle and touch. And just notice if certain fingers touch before others. And exhale to bring the hands down, around, and slide down. Weird hand in front as you slide up. Circle and touch. And this time just bring the hands straight down the center. Pause for a moment, close your eyes, and notice all of the sensations through your legs. Perhaps a tingling through the palms, the pressure between your fingertips. Every time we bring awareness to the body, to sensation, we bring ourselves back into this moment. Open the eyes and inhale, raise your arms to the sky. Again, fingertips touching, Hakini Mudra. Exhale down the center and around behind your legs all the way down to the floor. Inhale to halfway lift, hands to your shins, long spine. Exhale, hands to the floor, step the left foot back and lower the knee down. Hug the legs towards each other and inhale, raise the arms to the sky. Exhale, shift back into a low half split position, toes up, legs straight. You can have a little bend in the knee if that feels better. And then inhale back to low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Now see if you can make this movement as smooth as possible. Exhale back into half split, Adho Hanuman. And inhale back into low lunge. Keep trying to draw the legs towards each other. Again, exhale back. So the smoother you go with this movement, the calmer it is for the nervous system. So really trying to find a nice, fluid, easeful practice. Back to the low lunge on the inhale. This time, hook your thumbs. Try to draw the pubic bone up. And as you exhale, lean to the right. A little bit more stretch through that left side body. Also, we'll get into meridians through the arms. In particular, our lung, large intestine. Really important for immunity in Chinese medicine. Good, come back to the center. And then take the arms out to the side. I'm going to play with a little bit of balance here. So take the right leg away from the floor and see if you can balance on your left knee. And it might be a little bit wobbly. And that's okay. Be okay with the wobbles. Be okay with the uncertainty. We can't always predict and plan and control everything in our lives. So can we be a little bit okay with uncertainty so we can find that sense of flow? Good, and then place the knee down. Knees about hip distance apart. Draw the pubic bone towards the navel and the ribs towards the pelvis. Then bring your hands to your belly so it just reminds you to keep that connection. Press into your feet and start to lean the whole shape back. So we're loading this whole anterior line of the body. And you'll feel something through the thighs, through the belly. Keep the chin in. And the breath easeful. Good, slowly come back up. Place your hands to the floor, step into a high plank position. And then squeeze the feet to the hands to the feet. If you're modifying, bring the knees to the floor now. Otherwise, shift forward, draw the center of the chest forward. And very slowly lower all the way down to your belly. And once you get to your belly, spin the inner thighs to the sky and anchor your pubic bone down. Extend out through the toes. Draw the head of the shoulders away from the floor. And the inhale, lift your chest, lift your feet. Now press into the hands and feel almost like you're trying to drag yourself forward to elongate the spine a little more. And then exhale, release down with control. Press back to downward facing dog. Re-establish your connection through your hands, through your feet with the earth. And then inhale, raise your right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose and place it between your hands. Drop the back knee to the floor again. And raise the arms in front of you and touch the palms. Inhale, reaching forward. Exhale, slide the right hand along the inside of the arm across the front of the chest as you open out into a twist. Again, reach forward as you inhale. And exhale, slide along the inside as you open out into a twist. Draw the legs towards each other as you take this movement. Reach forward. Slowly open to the twist. This last one you might like to do with the eyes closed, just so you can really feel all of the sensation across the chest and the arm as you open out. And then you can choose to stay here with the knee down or lift up the back knee. Try to center your tailbone and press the inseam of the back thigh to the sky. And really paying attention to all of the sensation that you can still feel after stroking the inner arm, the chest. Bring the fingertips together in front of the chest, so Hakini Mudra again, and draw your left knee to your chest. Take the left knee out to the side, and then turn the knee down and the foot up, so internal rotation. And then take the leg all the way around behind you into extension, And try to stay out of your low back. So draw the ribs towards the pelvis. Draw the knee forward. Open it out to the side. Turn the knee down, the foot up. Take it around behind you into extension. And then draw the knee back and forward into flexion. And release the foot to the floor. Take the arms alongside you and pause. Close the eyes. Notice how your left hip feels. Notice how the whole left side feels in comparison to the right. Inhale, raise the arms up. Hakini Mudra above the head. Exhale, hands down the center, around behind the body, stroke down to the ankles. Inhale, slide up the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step the right foot back and lower the knee. Raise the arms to the sky for Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, slow shift back into half split, Ardha Hanuman. Toes up, press into the heel. Inhale, try and drag the heel back as you shift into low lunge. Exhale, smooth transition back into half split. Again, inhale, activate the legs towards one another. Exhale, smooth transition back, press into the heel. Inhale, back to low lunge and hook your thumbs. Draw the pubic bone up and then exhale over to the left. And then see if you can get a little longer through the right side body. Inhale back to center. Release the arms to the side. And we'll play with that little balance again. A little bit of hip proprioception. Lift your left leg away from the floor and try and balance. And it might be really wobbly. And you might fall out a few times, and that's okay. And just being really okay with uncertainty, with falling out, with not being totally in control. Good, and then place the knee down. Again, you can bring the hands to the belly just to remind the belly to stay as it is and the ribs to stay towards the pelvis. Or you could reach the arms forward this time. It's a little counterbalance. Start to slowly lean back. Press into the tops of the feet as you lean back. Chin in, jaw soft. Good, slowly back up. Place the hands to the floor and step back into your high plank again. Option to take the knees if you wish. Pull the hands towards the feet, shift forward, chest forward. Exhale slowly to the belly. Pull the head of the shoulders back, anchor the pubic bone to the floor. And inhale, raise your chest, raise your feet. And again, press into the hands so you feel like you're pulling yourself along the floor. Notice how the backs of the legs feel. Can you maintain that sense of engagement through the backs of the thighs as you lower the feet to the floor? And then press into your hands to rise to upward facing dog, thighs, belly away from the floor. Exhale, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Breathe into the full circumference of the rib cage. Take a little bend in the knees if that helps to tilt the sitting bones towards the sky. Right leg, left leg to the sky rather. And then exhale, knee to nose, step between your hands. Drop the back knee onto the floor and reach the arms forward. Squeeze inner thighs, touch the palms. Inhale. And then exhale, slide along the inside of the arm as you rotate open and reach back. 3 more like that. Just work with your breath rhythm. Try and make it slow and steady. And really make full contact with your hand across the body. So you really start to stimulate all those receptors that lie in the fascia. Also the meridian lines. Also just reconnecting with this sense of our body. And this last one, you're going to hold the twist. You can choose to keep the back knee down or tuck the toes and lift it up. Anchor down through the big toe mound of the front foot and share the weight between the big toe and the pinky toe of your back foot. Bring both hands to the center of the chest, Hakini Mudra, and draw your right knee to your chest. Take the right knee out to the side. Draw the knee down, the foot up, internal rotation. And then take the leg all the way around behind you into extension. Let's check that the low back hasn't become involved. Draw the knee forward, flexion. Open it out to the side, abduction. Turn the knee in, internal rotation. And then take it around behind you. Draw the knee forwards and place the foot down. Take a moment to pause and notice. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky, Hakini Mudra. Exhale, hands down, all the way around behind the legs. Slide them down to the ankles. Slide up the fronts of the shins. And then exhale, hands to the floor, left foot back. Keep the knee up this time. Raise the arms up for Crescent Warrior, Alanasana. And you may need to just adjust your feet a little so that you feel strong and stable. And if you feel a little unsteady, the back heel can also come to the floor. I'm going to move with the breath. So this will be our inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, start to straighten the front leg as you dive the chest forward and reach the arms back. You're going to bring most of the weight towards the ball of your front foot. Inhale, come back to your Crescent Warrior. This time exhale for 6 as you go into that pyramid shape, Parsvottanasana. Arms reach back. Front knee can be bent if you need it. Inhale, back into Crescent. Exhale for 7 this time. Can you make the movement smooth? The breath, take all 7 counts. Inhale, back up. And you guessed it, this time for 8. And then pause here. If you need to, you can place the hands on the thigh for a little bit of extra support. Reach out through the crown of your head and lift your sitting bones up a little higher. Good. Very slowly lower your back knee down to the floor. And come back into that kneeling balance again. See if you can take the foot away. Play with maybe straightening the leg this time. So a little bit trickier. You might get a little bit more wobbly. Play with straightening it in different places. And see what that feels like. Good. And then knees hip distance apart. Take a breath in to reach the arms forward. On the exhale, sink your hips over to the left. Get as low as you can and reach and extend in the opposite direction. Then inhale, bring yourself back up. Exhale to the other side. Really reaching and extending. Good. Inhale, back up. Set the hips off to the left as you reach towards the right. Use that as your counterbalance. Inhale, back up. And exhale, other side. Back to the center on the inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor, step into high plank. We'll move it through a chaturanga this time. You're welcome to go all the way to the floor as we did on the previous rounds. Otherwise, shift forward, pull the mat back. Exhale, halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog, or you can do your baby cobra again. And then exhale to downward facing dog. Raise the right leg to the sky and stack and open the hip this time, the scorpion dog. Squeeze the heel to the butt as you push the ground away. And just check in with the left shoulder that it hasn't dropped towards the floor. Draw the ribs towards the pelvis. Straighten the leg as you inhale. And exhale, knee to nose, step between your hands. This time spin your back heel down and open out into warrior 2. You might like to take a moment just to adjust your feet. Perhaps it feels better with the right knee or right foot wiggled over towards the left side a little more. You could even play with turning the back foot out or maybe rolling the back hip in. So just have a little play. Find what works in your body so that you feel grounded and stable, particularly through the pelvis. And you feel that connection from your feet up into the pelvis. Once you have that, you can extend the arms out. And then take the left arm, reach forward, so a little rotation through the upper body. And exhale, slide along the inside and reach back, look back. Good, reach forward. You can even extend forward a little more. And then exhale, slide and reach back. Maybe even reach back a little further. Again. Again, notice all of the sensations through the body, particularly where the hand is stroking. Good, pause here. Keep the gaze back towards your back hand and flip your palms to face up. So a slightly different variation with the arms and the head, just to bring a little bit more presence into a familiar shape. It's very easy when things are same to kind of drift into autopilot and go off into the head, into the thinking mind again. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior, and either hand to the thigh or wrap it around the body, but wherever you choose to place this hand, bring full awareness to that hand. So I'm less concerned about the shape through the upper body and more about the sensory awareness through this hand, whether it's wrapped around the body or touching the back thigh. Good, come back to the center, turn the back heel in and come to Goddess with Garudasana bind. You're going to lift your elbows towards the sky and then exhale, pull the elbows in towards the belly button. Again, inhale, lift, and then exhale, pull in. Inhale, raise the chest, lift. Exhale, pull the elbows in. Come back to the center. Unwind the arms and just hug the shoulders. So giving yourself a little hug. Close the eyes and just sense and feel into, again, sensation through the body. And hugs are so important for our growth, for our health and well-being. Good, and then open the eyes. You can either keep the hands like this, or you could go back to your Garudasana. We're going to take Garudasana to the top of the mat. You'll spin your right foot forward and then sweep the right leg up and over. You can either bring the toes to the floor, the left leg rather, up and over. You can even bring your toes to the floor or wrap them around. And then sit the hips down but draw the shoulders back. And then slowly unwind. Draw the left knee towards your chest and either hold on to the knee or you could hold on to the big toe. If you've got the big toe and you have the flexibility, you can start to extend the heel forward. If you've got the knee, you stay lifting the chest, lifting the butt up and back. And then slowly open that leg out to the side. And if you're holding on to the big toe, try to roll the outer hip down and the inner thigh to the sky. Lengthen through the right side body a little more. And then very slowly bring the leg back to the center and release the foot to the floor. Take a moment to pause and notice again. All of these moments where we pause and notice, really good for interoception, for sensing and feeling any subtle changes within the body. And the more interoception we develop, the more we grow a part of the brain called the insula, and shrink a part called the amygdala. And the amygdala is really our fear, our flight, fight, area of the body. So it's the one that is really active when we are stressed. Well, there's a lot of stuff out there making us panicky, fearful, worried. Open the eyes, raise the arms as you inhale. Exhale, hands down the center, around the backs of the legs, all the way down to the ankles. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to your shins. Exhale, right foot to the back. Keep the knee up. Raise the arms up into your crescent warrior. And again, take a moment if you need to just adjust your stance and feel like you're dragging your feet towards one another. Inhale to get longer through the arms. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Start to dive the chest forward to parallel with the floor. And straighten that front leg as much as you can. Inhale, bend the front knee, come back and up into crescent. And exhale, straighten as you reach back. Inhale, back up. This time exhaling for 7 counts. Inhale up. And exhale for 8. Pause. If you need to, for support, you can place the hands on the thigh. Reach through the crown of the head. Draw the outer left hip back. And then slowly lower your knee to the floor. Stand on that knee and then play with a little bit of balance. Try and straighten the leg this time. Just bringing a little bit of variety and fun and taking us out of the usual ways that we do things, just so that it brings a little bit more presence to what we are doing. Good, and then place the knees hip distance apart. Take a breath in, reach forward. Exhale, you're going to slide the hips over to the left again. And then option to take the hand to the floor and come into a sideways Navasana. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Inhale back up. Exhale to the right, reach to the left. You can stay there or take the right hand to the floor and come into that sideways Navasana. Back and up on the inhale. Exhale, left. Sideways. Squeeze inner thighs, lift the chest. One more, inhale. Exhale to the other side. Hug the inner thighs, reach through the feet and the toes. Good, and back up. Place the hands on the floor. Step into high plank. You can either move it through a flow or push straight back to downward facing dog. So you choose what is going to serve you best in this moment. Remembering that it's about moving slowly with control, with that sense of fluidity and ease, paying attention to the breath. Left leg floats to the sky. Stack and open the hip and squeeze the heel towards your right buttock. Push with your right hand a little more and pull the ribs down and in. Straighten the leg, reach the toes. And exhale, knee to nose, step between your hands. Spin the back heel down and windmill open into your warrior two. Again, just bring the hands down. Take a moment to adjust your feet. So you want to feel strong connection through both feet up into the pelvis. So if it feels a little bit uneasy or if the front knee feels a little bit compromised, just move the foot until you feel strong and stable. Once you've got that connection, reach the arms out. Try to hug the legs towards the center and then reach forward, touch the palm. Exhale along the inside of the arm as you open out and reach back. Inhale, reach forward. And exhale, slide along the inside of the arm to reach back. You might like to do these last two with the eyes closed. Just really sensing and feeling all of that sensation through the chest. And then open out, flip your palms and keep your drishti, your gaze, towards the back hand. Keep drawing the legs in towards the center. But at the same time, expanding open. Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior. Hand either on the leg or you can wrap it around. And remember, we're bringing full awareness to where this hand is touching, without trying to press too much into the leg. Find a little bit more length through the left side body. We start to open up through the ribs, the lateral border of the body. Good, and then come back to center, spin your back heel and come to goddess with eagle arms. Take an inhale, raise the chest, raise the elbows. Exhale, round and pull the elbows in. Inhale, lift your chest and your elbows. Exhale, pull the elbows in. One more. Come back to the center and again, give yourself a hug, but switch which arms on top. So it'll feel the slightly unusual one, and then close your eyes and notice. Human connection, touch, socializing is all part of how we evolved as humans, and it's all really important for our mental health. So at these times, still try to find ways that you can connect with one another and connect with yourself. And open the eyes. You can either keep the hands like this or go back to your eagle grip. Turn the left toes forward and sweep the right leg over the top. Find Garudasana or eagle facing the top of the mat. The toes can wrap or you could bring them to the floor. And press the hips forward as you bring the shoulders back. And sometimes I like this variation more than the full bind, because you get a little bit more sensation through this TFL kind of area of the body. So getting into some of those tighter hip flexor muscles. Good, raise the knee towards your chest. Either hold on to the knee or the big toe and start to extend the heel forward, Utthita Hasta Padangusthasana. Lift up the butt. So you keep your lumbar curve and then start to open the leg to the side. Rotate the inner thigh to the sky. And be mindful that both hip points still point forward. Slowly bring the leg back to the center and release the foot to the floor. Pause for a moment to notice. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky, Hakini Mudra. Exhale, hands down the center, around the backs of the legs. Inhale, slide up the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the floor, step the left foot back and rise on up into your crescent warrior. This time as you exhale, you're going to straighten the leg and rotate the body. And bring your left hand either onto the thigh or onto the shin bone. So you choose where feels best for you. And then bend the knee, come back to crescent. Exhale for 6, rotating the body and bringing the hand to the shin or the thigh. Inhale back. Exhale for 7. Inhale back. And exhale for 8. Straighten as you twist. Nice, fluid, smooth movement. And then once you're there, press your shin bone and your hand against each other. That'll unlock your right knee a little, give you a little bit more support through your core. Now you're welcome to stay here in the revolved triangle variation, or see if you can maybe shift a little bit more weight into your right leg to lift your left leg up. Keep the shin and the hand pressing against each other for support. And if the right hand feels uncomfortable, just place it on the low back. Lift up the left leg a little higher. Good, and then very slowly step it back and into crescent warrior again, arms to the sky. Slowly lower your back knee down to the floor. Once the back knee touches, then come back into that balancing play. But you might like to grab the big toe or maybe the knee or behind the knee and play with taking a kind of baby Utthita Hasta. And again, don't worry if it's a bit unsteady, a little bit wobbly, perhaps you fall out. Just notice how it feels. We have proprioceptors all through the body. We're often more aware of what's going on at our ankle than what's going on at our hip. Good, and then place the knees hip distance apart. Take a breath in to reach forward. Exhale, hips off to the left. Again, you can stay here. You could reach the arm out along the floor, or maybe see if you can come into this Parsva Navasana without the hand. This is a little bit wobbly, a little bit asymmetrical. Good, and then come back up. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Taking whichever option serves you most in this moment. It doesn't have to be all the way. Good, back to the center. Exhale to the left. Reach and extend. Go back to the center as you inhale. And exhale to the other side. Good, come back through center. Place the hands on the floor. You can move through a flow or step straight back to downward facing dog. Re-establishing the connection with your breath if you've lost it. Remembering it's our breath that really gets us through these challenging times. So a lot of these shapes that we're playing with today, it might be a little bit challenging. They're challenging to see if you can still stay calm and steady with your breath. So if we can do that on the mat, then we can do that outside of the yoga room, out in the real world, where often the real challenge is. Right leg to the sky. Stack and open the hip. And if you like, you can stay here or you can roll onto the outer edge of the left foot and slowly, slowly, slowly take the right toes to the floor. Or you might leave them hovering. So playing with either wild thing or a hovering wild thing. Just to make it a little bit more interesting for the core and the balance. And then slowly make your way all the way back. Step that foot all the way forward to the top of the mat. Spin the back heel and open out. Warrior two. Take the front left arm, reach forward on the inhale. Exhale, slide and reach back. Nice and slow, fluid movement with the breath. Reach the front arm to the sky, reverse. And then exhale, spin the back heel, come to goddess. Garudasana arms. Inhale, raise. Exhale, pull it in. Come back to the center with the chest. Turn the right toes forward and sweep the left leg up and over into eagle. Find your gaze, your drishti. And then slowly left knee to chest. Catch hold of the left ankle with your left hand. Could be the outside or the inside edge. And reach up through the right fingertips. Draw the pubic bone towards the navel and start to kick the foot into your hand. As you kick the foot into your hand, reach and extend through the right fingertips. Can you find that equal intensity between the two? Draw the right hip crease back and roll the left hip down to the floor. Good. Slowly back to the center. Release the foot down. Take a moment to notice. Also notice the breath. And oftentimes in balancing poses we hold the breath. Again, that might just signal that in times of challenge off the mat that we tend to hold the breath rather than maintaining that nice easeful breath which keeps us out of the monkey mind and in the present moment. Inhale, raise your arms to the sky, Hakini Mudra. Exhale, hands down the center and round the backs of the legs to the ankles. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot to the back, keep the knee up. Raise the arms up into crescent. Exhale, start to straighten the front leg. Reach your right hand across either for the thigh or the shin bone. Inhale, bend the front knee, come back to crescent. Exhale for 6. Twisting the body and bringing the hand to touch the leg. Inhale, back up. Exhale for 7. Inhale up. Exhale for 8. Once the hand touches, firm connection between the hand and the shin or the thigh. Press them firmly against one another. So it will probably end up unlocking the knee a little. Outer left hip back. And see if you can maintain that 8 count exhalation. You're welcome to stay here or start to shift the body weight forward and see if you can get light enough to lift your right leg up. Spiral the inseam of the right thigh to the sky. Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. Notice if you're holding unnecessary tension anywhere. With control, slowly land the toes and reach the arms to the sky. Slowly lower your right knee down to the floor. Untuck the toes and then stand up on the knee. Find a little balance and see if you can maybe hook the big toe or just hold on to the knee. Or you might just play as we did on the first or the second round of just straightening the leg. And finding your variation, just playing with the balance. Maybe it's getting a little easier now. Good, and then stack your knees, one beside the other. Full breath in, reach forward. Exhale to the left. Try not to put the hands down, but if you need to, you can. Parsvanavasana. Inhale, back up. Exhale to the other side. Good, inhale to center. Exhale, hands to the floor. Move through your flow or skip it and go straight to downward facing dog. So we often do a lot of our poses from front to back, side to side. So it's always good for the nervous system and for your core to play with some variations. Raise the left leg to the sky, stack and open the hip. You can stay there in scorpion dog or slowly start to roll onto the outer edge of the right foot, maybe into a floating wild thing, or taking the toes all the way to the floor for wild thing. Spin the chest towards the sky. And then draw the left knee all the way in and step it to the top of your mat. Spin your back heel and open out into Warrior Two. Reach the right arm forward, touch the palm, and exhale, slide along the inside of the arm to reach back. Inhale, reach forward, and exhale to open up. Reverse the warrior as you inhale. Exhale to Goddess with Garudasana. Inhale, raise your elbows. Exhale, pull the elbows in. Inhale back to center, turn the front toes, and exhale, right leg all the way up and over, Garuda Asana. Raise the right knee to your chest, and then hold on to either the outside or the inside of the ankle with your right hand, left arm to the sky. Draw the pubic bone up and begin your kick, Natarajasana. This balancing pose requires a lot of concentration, a lot of presence, finding that balance between kicking back and reaching, finding all of the oppositional forces in the body. As you reach forward, your left hip crease draws back. As you kick back, your right hip draws forward. Good, and then slowly release back into Tadasana, taking a moment to notice. And toe heel your feet out. Raise your arms to the sky. And as slowly as you can, lower all the way down to the floor. Use your hands if you need to get yourself all the way down. And then roll onto your back and give your knees a hug. You can take the knees a little wider if that feels good for you. Or you could go a little tighter and squeeze and hold on to opposite elbows. It's a gentle massage through the low back. And then let your whole body roll onto its right side and extend your arms out so that they're about shoulder height, knees on top of one another. And you could put a pillow between your knees if this is uncomfortable. You can even take a pillow underneath the head if you need. Reach forward as you inhale. And then exhale, slide along the inside of the arm to roll it back. It's the same thing that we've been doing all through class. Again, reach forward. And slide and reach back. So every time the hand touches the chest, helps to release oxytocin. And every time the hand is touching parts of our body, it's remapping those parts of the body within the brain. Good, one more. Noticing every sensation. This time pausing in the twist. You can keep the elbow bent or extend the arm. And just turn the head towards your left hand. Is there somewhere in the body that you can soften a little more? Very slowly draw your knees back into the center. And then roll yourself all the way onto your left side. Stack your knees. Reach forward on the inhale. And then slide along the inside of the arm as you reach back. Again, reach forward. And slide as you reach back. I like to close the eyes for these last two. Just really feeling in the body, everything. Rotation. What's going on in the hips. This last one, open it out and reach back. And look back and pause. And just notice perhaps this side feels a little tighter. Perhaps there's somewhere in the body you're holding more tension on this side than the other. Very slowly draw your knees back into the center. And draw your knees in and take the feet up. Now if you need to have a bend in the knees, that's totally fine. You're going to stroke up your legs as high as you can go. And then down the backs of your legs towards your butt. So inhaling up. And exhale for 6 as you come down. Inhale up. Exhale for 7. Inhale up. And then exhale for 8. And then just pause here. Bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Notice the sensations through your legs, through your palms. Notice the feeling of your hands on your chest and your belly. Notice the breath moving into the chest and the belly. And slowly release your legs all the way down and into your Shavasana. If you need to, you can bend your knees and just knock the knees in towards each other. You can even roll onto your side. I'm going to keep my hands on the body. You're welcome to release them. Hands on the body is just really nice to keep that connection to ourselves. You might even think about, with each breath, just giving love to yourself. Remembering that love and compassion is the antidote to fear. Fear makes us contract, it makes us play small, it makes us fearful of what's coming next. It makes us slip into scarcity mindset, trying to protect our patch. Whereas love helps us to expand. It helps us to create connection. It helps us to create community. It helps us to realize that it's not just about us. It's about every single person and living thing on this planet. We are all affected. And we all need to watch out for one another. this practice in a seated meditation. If you would prefer to stay in Shavasana, then just stay as you are and listen to my words. Otherwise, just quietly and mindfully transition yourself into a comfortable seat. As we began the class, bring one hand to the front of the chest and one hand to the back. And bring the awareness to the internal landscape again. And just noticing whatever sensations are present in the body now. And also noticing the breath. Is it a little bit more easeful, a little smoother? And if not, can you see if you can smooth out the breath? So I like to imagine that I'm drawing a circle with my breath. So there's no jagged edges or stops or starts. As the breath starts to become a little smoother, notice the effect on the mind. And mentally ask yourself, how am I feeling today? And notice if any sensation arises within the body. Perhaps some thoughts come into the mind. And just notice how the breath changes or stays the same. And if any sensation arises, can you stay present with that sensation without needing to label it or change it in any way? Just notice what's there. At the same time, try and keep the breath smooth and even. The more you can stay anchored in sensation, the more you help that sensation to move through the body. Sensation is just a form of energy. Emotion is just energy in motion. So learning to pay attention to the sensation and be present with it. And help us stay out of the monkey mind, out of those places of fear and anxiety, worry and uncertainty. Which is all the sympathetic nervous system, a thinking mind trying to maintain control in some way. The more we can do these practices to bring ourselves back to center, back to presence, the more resilient we can become, the more able we are to deal with the ups and downs, with the uncertainty. And remembering we are all in this together. So keep up the connection, keep up the community. and look out for one another. It's been an honor to guide you in this practice. From my heart to yours. Namaste.